that could have been cool, but I can't picture myself singing "Saint Elmo's Fire." Um,
Well, you just did, man. You just
well,
did. There we go. Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound, here with another of our video calls. We are catching up with everybody while we're all stuck at home in lockdown, but I'm delighted to say from Newfound Glory, Jordan's on the line. How are you, man?
hey guys, what's
Hey.
up?
Good, man. All good here. How are things with you? You staying safe, staying all good where you are right now?
Yeah, just been sitting at home doing like house stuff and super boring things, and now all of a sudden I have to be like a teacher for my kids, and that really sucks. So,
Wow. How's that going? What are your specialist subjects you're handling at the minute?
I mean, everything from like teaching them how to multiply, which I graduated high school with consumer math, so I never even made it to pre-algebra. So I'm sitting here doing like 7 times 8 on my fingers, and they're getting all mad at me and flustered because I can't give them I can't teach them the right way, you know?
Oh, amazing. You do what you can, man. We all do what we can in these crazy, crazy times.
Yeah,
Well, one thing we can catch up about with you, obviously, is new music, which is very, very exciting. The album is imminent, obviously rescheduled as everyone is, very, very sensible and all that stuff, but very, very
yeah,
excited about the album coming. I want to start with how you guys are kind of looking back, really, because you've been doing all this Road to Infinity stuff online. It's obviously the 10th album for you guys. It
yeah.
really feels like a big time of reflection for the band. Is that right? I mean, have you guys been kind of looking back on it as a milestone in the career at this point?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's and that's sort of like the vibe we were even going for with the record. For people to put this record on and get those feelings of good memories and things from their past. And even if they were going through hard times then, like putting on this record, I feel like it just takes you to a place where it's just makes you feel good. It's like nostalgia and good vibes, but also like moving forward too. And I feel like it's still it's newfound glory, but it's also like moving forward in sound, I think too. So,
Yeah, it's
you
really
know,
exciting. It's really exciting, and the fact that like it's there, it's right there in the title as well of the record. You're obviously thinking about it as a whole and as a career and everything. I guess
yeah.
we'll come on to the writing of the record and everything, I guess, in a sec. But when you were actually putting together the record, how much were you actively looking back on it as a whole? Were you really trying to pick out elements of the past? Like you say, it does definitely push you forward, but yeah, how much has that reflection fed into the writing of it?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, we always go we never want to like gyp our fans and cheapen our like, you know, our fans. So we always want to try and like make the next record better than the last one. And I think more where we were coming from is like what kind of vibe do we want to bring for people that may have not heard this before, and heard like this type of music before. Um, and so like you can put on this new record and definitely like hear influences from things from anywhere from like Lifetime to Shelter to Gorilla Biscuits to that's like you know like that song oh shoot, now I can't remember. I'm thinking of like working titles now, but You Got Nothing to Say. Like when we wrote that song, I was like, man, this really feels like it reminds me of when I went to Warped Tour to see Civ play. And like back in the day, like Chad and myself, like we loved Civ. And as soon as Cyrus put the drum beat to the riff, we're like, dude, we got to keep this. And so that's kind of like, so not only is it nostalgia, like it's bringing like the nostalgia for ourselves, but also, also for everybody else too. I'm hoping that people can hear that in the record.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I think
I don't
that
even
makes
know.
sense.
I think I was rambling.
I think it made sense, man. It's good rambling. It's good rambling. And I guess speaking of the actual writing process as well, I've been kind of keeping an eye online. You guys have been posting little kind of insights into the whole process. I saw a video that you put up with Chad taking you around where you were recording at least some of the record, which looked like a castle. Was it a
Yeah.
castle you guys were in? Right.
Yeah.
Talk to me about recording in a castle. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like a cat. So it was Al Capone built that place as a mansion that was made to look like a castle in the middle of the woods in Franklin, Tennessee. So in the middle of Tennessee somewhere. And it was sort of a halfway point when he was, I guess, running alcohol and all that, stuff from Chicago to Florida. So this was like a halfway point. And so there was all these really cool hidden symbols and different weird rooms and stuff, and it was super cool in there. Um, Supposedly it was haunted too. I don't know, but uh, yeah, it's what was most interesting to me was as you walk up, and I don't know if this was what you saw, but as you walk up to the front door from the street level, there's like these pavers and there's these different symbols in the ground, and one of them is like a ace of spades, one of them is like a roulette table, one of them is like a roulette table with a gun in the middle, like a shape of a gun. And so I thought that was really cool because it was like, oh, this is the spot. You know, you're here when you if you can see these symbols in mixed in with the other rocks, then you know you're at the right place. It's kind of cool.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
how did you guys end up recording? So I take it there's obviously a recording studio in there. Is that what that place is full time? Like how is
yeah,
that? Wow, that's what it's been converted into these days.
yeah. Full time studio, and there's always weird little doorways and secret rooms that we didn't explore the whole place, but because there's I think three different recording rooms or two, so they had some other stuff going on in the other one, so we couldn't really like explore too much, but yeah, it was definitely cool to be in there.
Yeah, for sure, man. Really cool
Yeah,
vibe to be recorded in somewhere as crazy as that. That's amazing.
yeah,
Let's talk about some of the singles that people have heard already, I guess, and kind of how they came together. Let's go with
yeah.
Greatest of All Time. That track in particular, one of the kind of first ones we heard of the new record. How did that one come together in the actual writing process?
Um, that was one of the first ones we wrote. So we tend to write when we're on the road together, like when we're on tour, because we all live in different places. I'm in California, Chad's in Tennessee. You know, two guys are in Florida. So we tend to write when we're recorded when we're on the road together, and that was one of the first ones that we put together. And when we had a bunch of the demos written, we had maybe like 5 or 6 songs demoed on the that we did on the back of the tour bus, with fake drums and the whole deal. But yeah, so that was one of the first ones we wrote, and out of the 4 or 5 that we had at that time, because we wrote a lot after that, but around that time, that was the one that like got the most reaction from people because like they put it on, they listen to it like, man, that reminds me so much of this, but like still sounds so fresh and modern, and so that was one of the first ones we wrote, and yeah, Chad just like had that cool riff, and I don't know, it just kind of came together, it just never, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely fits really well. And like you say, it has that element of nostalgia, but really modern shine to it, which I guess is a kind of a thing, like you say, that goes through all the record.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how you guys write on the road there, just because you guys are one of the hardest touring bands out there. I mean, you've constantly been on, not at the minute, obviously, but like you guys have been constantly hitting it hard on the road over the years. How do you guys work in terms of actual writing? Have you got a setup on the bus? Like, how does it all work in there?
Yeah, so Cyrus, our drummer, he's like super into recording stuff. So he has everything. And we just use like a simple little plug-in thing that goes into the computer. It's called an M-Box. We just have that in the back of the bus and a laptop, and I have a microphone, and Chad brings his guitar back there, and he'll record some stuff during the day. Um, and then I don't really like singing during the daytime. Like my voice and my body, it's like a weird singer thing, but I'm so used to singing at night late. So if I try to sing during the daytime, I'm just all dry, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. So I usually will record some scratch vocals and stuff like after sound check or whatever, before like, in between sound check, meet and greet kind of thing. And that's kind of how we do it. We just try to record some riffs. Cyrus will put some electronic, drum sounds to it, super basic, and then I'll just sing ideas over it. And if we like the ideas, we'll keep them, and then that's it. Just copy and paste the choruses.
Nice.
So much, and then yeah, and then we kind of live with it for a while, which is nice. And we've done that the last few records, and I feel like it's really helped out a lot because you can actually live with the songs for a little bit and then make changes that you want to change once you're actually in the studio, and I have to actually sing the chorus a bunch and all that. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, were there any tracks in particular on the album then that kind of radically changed from? I mean, obviously they're all going to change a little bit when you get in the studio by the nature of it. But was there any kind of big changes once they'd sat with you for a little while before you got into the studio setting?
yeah, And that was what was so awesome about working with Steve Evans. Like he had really good ideas because he's so familiar with the world we came from, and he's produced so many rad records, from new stuff, modern stuff, to like old '90s hardcore, and he did all those Lifetime records. He did a bunch of stuff that we grew up listening to. So he really got the songs, and so yeah, he came in and he's like, hey, like, why don't you do a halftime chorus here instead of the fast one? And like, oh yeah, we tried that, but we didn't know if it was cool. So yeah, let's try it again. And so that was, anytime you do go into do a record, you always, things change all the time. I mean, we had songs in the past that were two separate songs that became one song, so like the bridge or the chorus from that one song was great, but it wasn't so great in the other one, but the verses were great and it just sort of matched. And yeah, so you're
Yeah.
always changing stuff up.
Yeah, it makes sense. You got to play with those ideas and find the right way. Of course you do. I guess the other thing I really wanted to talk to you about was because last time we saw you guys, probably around Slam Dunk, actually, was probably the last time we saw you guys over here. But you
Yeah.
were, of course, still very much in screen to your stereo mode and
Yeah.
doing all that kind of stuff, which always goes down so well. I guess the obvious question is, will you be doing that again? Because you've done it several times now. It keeps going down so well. You keep finding more movies to play with. Have you guys talked about in the future maybe returning to that series?
I don't know, because what's funny is we always say this is the last one. We're not doing this anymore, and then here we are, like with 3 cover records, So it's possible. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but I really do think that doing that 3rd cover record really sort of like gave us a new sort of I don't know. It was like a fresh new start or something, because when we toured on that record, there was so many new faces and new younger kids that came to those shows, which was awesome. And it's really cool to see that our band can sort of like go through those, sort of, you have your people that have been there forever seeing us play. And then now some of those people have kids because they're in their like 30s or 40s or whatever. And there was so many little kids on shoulders, and like some wearing Elsa costumes and stuff. And like, it was really cool to see. And so that yeah, I don't know. It made us feel that we're kind of, I don't know, in this new sort of place with the band. It doesn't feel stagnant at all. Like, it just feels like we're on this sort of, we're constantly moving, and I don't know, it's really cool to see that and know that, especially because we've been around for so long, and people think we're old, but we're not. So it's cool that we can continue to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's the nature of a project like that, isn't it? Where you're going to do big covers and all that kind of thing. It's going to bring in a different audience as well as your ordinary one. So, of course, it's understandable that audience is going to change like that. And I guess by that same token, it doesn't seem that long ago that you were doing the kind of looking back and playing albums in full on tour and revisiting all those anniversaries and all that kind of stuff. Again,
Yeah.
it must have been kind of a similar thing. Like, I guess a lot of kids who weren't around the first time when Sticks and Stones came out are probably going to go and see it live now. Did you notice that change as well with the audience there?
Oh yeah, and I say it at the end of every tour. I'm like, it's crazy to me. It's just so weird how there's people that come up to us after the shows or during meet and greets or whatever and say that it's their first time seeing us play. Like, it's so weird to me.
Cool though. It's nice,
Cool.
nice thing to have for sure. Absolutely,
Yeah, man.
really cool.
Yeah.
One more thing I've got to ask you about with Screen to Stereo though is, were there any you didn't quite get a chance to get to? Did you have a wish list of any movie songs that you never quite made the cut that you think maybe one day in the future?
Yeah. Ian always has some like weird, bizarre song he wants to do. But he wanted to do St. Elmo's Fire. Do you know that song?
Yeah. 80s classic. That works.
Yeah, he wanted to do that one, and I that could have been cool, but I can't picture myself singing St. Elmo's Fire.
Well, you just did, man. You just did. There we go.
I tried to imitate him singing it, but and then one of the other ones was, we always talked about doing "Kiss from a Rose" from Batman Forever.
Man.
Was it Batman Forever?
Yeah, that was Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That was mid-90s right there. Oh, the music video alone would make it worth it. Come on. Oh, fingers crossed on that one in the future.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, of course, this new record, man, it sounded good, and it's nice to hear you guys kind of all rejuvenated and everything. I'll leave you with this. It's kind of a question I've had to be asking everybody recently. We're in an incredibly weird time now. It's really great people are putting out music because I think we need to hear it more than ever right now. Obviously, it's not going to be your standard promo trail, and obviously tours are
No.
going to have to wait for a little while. Have you guys been talking about ways to kind of connect with the fans online and do all that kind of stuff in the coming weeks?
Yeah, we're kind of, so I mean, we had all these plans and now all the plans are shot. But I think so. Like the other night, we did like a game night where the four of us got online and we played some games, and people could like comment and whatever. Um, we're trying to just be more present online. I mean, I don't, everything is so up in the air with what's going on that you were kind of coming up with ideas spur of the moment. So like the other day, we're like, let's just do a game night thing and say, hey, we're playing games tonight. Everyone join in. So that's kind of like where we're at right now. I feel like we're gonna try and work on some other stuff. Like maybe, we have like some live shows that we can maybe put online that we can premiere that people haven't seen before. Because we have done, I know, like the last tour in the U.S., not the 2 tours ago. We had one show that was like a 4-camera shoot and stuff, and so we might do something with that, and then just be online and people can talk to us while we're watching the show together.
Yeah.
I thought that could be a good idea.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But right now, it's just like everything sucks right now.
Yeah, man. But I mean, this the thing, though. I guess we've all got to remember everyone's in the same boat right now. It sucks for
I
everyone,
know.
but it will get better eventually.
Yeah.
And one of the things that makes it bearable, of course, is new music. We thank you for putting it out, and yeah, looking forward to the new album getting out there in the world. Stay safe, and we'll catch up with you soon, man.
All right. Thanks, man. Hope to see you guys all soon.
Absolutely. See you in the UK when we can, man. All
All
right.
right, man.
Cheers, man. Jordan, everybody.